rain, where kind of throughout the day it's been heavy on and off. So now it's getting more consistent. You can definitely tell the wind's picking up a bit. And as we kind of get into the late night hours, into the early morning tomorrow, we'll definitely see more rain and more wind as the storm's moving its way through our area.
When you say early in the morning, what time frame are we looking at when we can expect the heaviest downpours to come?
So heaviest downpours, we're looking at around probably, anywhere from 2 to 3 in the morning, but around midnight is when it's really going to start picking up.
And there are assets out to protect folks and stuff. Can you talk about where those assets are, what's out in the field, and how that's going to work from a county perspective?
Absolutely. So we have assets throughout the county. We have Texas Task Force 1 in Galveston. We have high water vehicles on the east side of the county, on the west side of the county, as well as small boat crews throughout the county as well that can rapidly respond should citizens have a need for them.
And at this time, what are the kind of the big trouble areas that are you anticipating to be an issue that you'll maybe have to respond to?
So definitely the low-lying areas of the county that historically flood when we have heavy rain events. We're keeping an eye on the Bayshore area. We have issues there when it rains pretty heavily, as well as out in parts of Santa Fe in the unincorporated areas also flood pretty regularly when we get heavy rains.
How about the Bolivar Peninsula? Obviously, Highway 87 is always a concern there. How about the peninsula?
Absolutely. Highway 87, we have about a 4.5-foot high tide coming in, as we're also getting some pretty heavy downpours. So with that, doesn't make a great mixture for streets to be open. So TxDOT's been out there. They've had crews and equipment stage out there, cleaning any of the debris that's washed up earlier in the day. They got crews out there throughout the evening and tomorrow as well, as long as our road and bridge crews. And with that, also the Bolivar ferries, we've been in contact with them quite a bit as well. With the high tides and the strong winds we could be seeing, any temporary shutdowns of that, something we're definitely going to be monitoring throughout the night.
And is this going to be mainly a rain event, wind event, combination of both? What are we really expecting for this area?
So definitely, mainly a rain event. We are going to have some tropical storm winds, around 40 miles an hour. So, we'll have some wind, but and possible, higher gusts as well. But it's really the rain for this tropical storm that we're keeping an eye on.
There was right before landfall here. They've measured winds on Nicholas to be about 70 miles an hour. That's almost hurricane strength there. What are you hearing from the National Weather Service about the power of the storm when it makes landfall and when it gets here?
Same thing. It's just right below a Category 1 hurricane, where it currently is when it makes landfall. And then for our area, like I said, that tropical storm winds, around 40 miles an hour, but we could see gusts, 50 miles an hour. Obviously, the closer to the coast and closer to the storm you are, the stronger those winds can be, especially with the gusts coming through.
And then come tomorrow, when folks are going to be asking, when is this going to be really kind of all in the clear? All the schools have canceled tomorrow and the like, obviously too, but folks may still have to go to work and the like. What are you advising them right now about what to do in the morning?
So in the morning, we're going to evaluate the current weather conditions in the morning. So really keeping an eye on that, on what's currently happening. The storm could speed up, it could slow down overnight. So really, we get up in the morning, check the weather, see what's going on, follow trusted news sources such as yourself, and this way when you're going to make a decision, are you going to go into work or not tomorrow, you can make the appropriate decision that's right for you.
Coming in tonight, it's already nightfall and a lot of cars are already on the road. What are you advising the folks to be doing tonight and in the overnight?
Absolutely. So for the folks that are on the road right now, if you can get home, and if you're home, stay home. There's no reason to put yourself in risk, because where these rain bands set up, you may get a couple inches in one area and it could be heavier in another part of town. So really kind of just staying put where you are until this blows through, and by tomorrow morning it will be better, and then by tomorrow afternoon to evening, it'll be a lot better for our area.
And also too, if you're monitoring Clear Creek, Dickinson Bayou, and the like, those tributaries, Dickinson Bayou was up a little bit, but that was at a high tide time. What concerns we have with those two water, in the Gum Bayou and Cloud Bayou and the like?
Yeah, absolutely, especially with Clear Creek, any of the heavy rains that they get from the north of us too, run off into Clear Creek, as well as Dickinson Bayou, is highly affected by the tides as well. So like we said, those tides are coming up and the rain's coming down. It just doesn't make for good drainage. So, just really keeping an eye on that and making sure, our residents are as prepared as they can be and we're able to respond to them. So we just, us and our jurisdictions, working in partnership to making sure we have the best information and can help our residents out.
How about power outages around the county? Dickinson's been dealing with a pretty big one, almost 3,000 customers without power since early this afternoon. A lot of them just got power back here in a little bit. We've heard reports from Galveston too. Any other reports that you may have? I
haven't seen any as of right now. There could be some more smaller power outages, but since we're not expecting this huge wind event for us, mainly a rain event, there shouldn't be massive widespread outages, but minor power outages, dead trees, especially from the winter storm we had, a lot of dead vegetation if that wasn't taken care of prior to hurricane season, and they go down on power lines, it could be a couple hours before crews are able to get out there and restore that power.
And a question, it's not only immediate, but there's been some residents asked today, was there ever consideration about calling for any type of evacuation, even voluntary, for any part of the community?
No, not at this point with the tropical storm that we were experiencing for Tropical Storm Nicholas. When we talk about evacuations, we're looking at, life safety. And, with this storm, the Weather Service was the information we were given from the Weather Service. We felt pretty confident on staying put. When you call evacuations, a lot goes into making that happen, and it's a lot to ask residents. Leave your house, leave what you're comfortable with, what you're familiar with, and go somewhere else. And we just did not see that to be necessary at this point in time.
It's also part of it. Storm surge is the main reason to do that, and that wasn't going to be that much of an issue.
No, I mean, we're talking storm surge for 4.5 feet, which isn't too uncommon. Usually we'll get more to that 4-foot mark, depending on how, winds push the Gulf around. So 4.5 feet, we're not really running from the surge at that point.
When's the next update from the National Weather Service expected?
We'll have another update from them at 10:30 tonight. And, hopefully, what they've been predicting so far continues on track. And, by, this time tomorrow, it's just a memory for all of us.
Anything else you think it's important for residents in Galveston County particularly to know?
I just can't stress enough, if you don't have to be on the roads, please don't be on the roads, stay home. There's no reason to put yourself in danger for, just going out and driving around.
Thank you, sir.